Hello and welcome to my very dirty E63s. Just thought I'd put a quick video together on how I go about cleaning my car in between bigger cleans and details. The car at the moment during the winter season, it's done about 1,000 miles since I cleaned it last, which is about 4 weeks. It's full of the usual grit, salt off the roads, the wheels are caked in brake dust. So yeah, it's looking a bit sort of shabby by my sort of cleanliness standards. When I bought the car 2 years ago, I had it ceramic coated with Gyeon Duraflex, which I thoroughly recommend. So, you know, cleaning it is not too bad. Everything sort of slips off quite easily. So, as we'll see in the video, with a combination of Bilt Hamber and Gyeon products, it's quite easy to keep on top of it, really. So, first point of call is to drop my rear camera, as you can see, because that's always hidden away when I clean the car. And the first step for me is to snow foam the car from bottom to top. I'm using Bilt Hamber, which, as you can see, it's not a very thick foaming cleaner. So I personally think it's the most powerful cleaning snow foam product out there. There are many others that, you know, they give the whole YouTube friendly thick shaving foam style foam on the car, and some of it can sit up to 30 minutes on the car, but I just feel it's a waste of time. It doesn't actually break down the dirt on the car. So this, diluted correctly, is definitely my go-to product for snow foaming. So we leave this dwell on the car for between 10 and 12 minutes, depending on how hot it is outside or how cold, so you don't want it to dry on the car. Yeah, leave it do its thing, and hopefully most of the dirt will sort of drip away, or at least soften up. Alright, so it's been about 10 minutes since I've applied the snow foam, so it's time to blast it off. I work in the same instance where I just blast from bottom to top, ensuring I get into the nooks and crannies, the arches, get behind the wheels, you know, just remove the snow foam thoroughly. By now, this does depend on how dirty the car is and how protected it is underneath in terms of your ceramic coating or wax or whatever you've got on there. The dirt doesn't always melt off and sit on the floor like you'd expect it to. I think some people think snow foam's sort of a one-hit clean car job done. In most scenarios, all it does is soften the dirt, so it blasts off with one pass of the jet wash, as opposed to sort of being really ground on. So it's done its job. Okay, onto the wash stage. So 2-bucket method. One bucket is full of clean water, and the other bucket is for, you know, my car shampoo of choice is Gyeon Bathe Plus. So Gyeon Bathe is a very nice car wash solution, which has some beading properties with the ingredients included in there. So that just adds a sort of extra layer of protection till the next wash. It beads really nicely on its own, but on top of a wax or ceramic coating, it works really well. The only downside to this, as you can see from me applying it onto the car, it's not very soapy, or, you know, there's not many suds, so it's quite difficult to work out where you've washed. And I know it's nice to see suds and bubbles and whatnot when you're washing the car, but it's very slippy to use, so that sort of makes up for it to a degree. So go around the car. I'm washing my wash mitt every other panel. The wash mitt I'm using is also a Gyeon product. I think it's called a Gyeon Smoothie. So that's sort of rinsed in the clean bucket after every panel or so. Time to rinse. One thing to note when I'm rinsing the car now from the shampoo is if you look quite closely at the car, particularly on the paintwork on the bonnet there, you can see how well the water's already beading from not only the ceramic coating which is on the car already, but from using that fresh application of Gyeon Bathe Plus. So because it has SI0, I think it's called SI022 or SI22, which is a particular ingredient of the shampoo, it has its own beading properties, so the water sort of slips off really, really easy. I think they class it as self-cleaning because it sort of allows dirt to slip off, so it's really handy. Next up then is Bilt Hamber Auto Wheel. So this is my go-to wheel cleaner of choice. Non-acidic, so it's very nice and gentle to use on, you know, even the most delicate finishes, diamond cut, polished, etc. So what I do with this is I don't use this every wash because I think it's quite a harsh cleaner. It will strip any sort of wheel wax or ceramic coating you've got in your wheels. So I spray all 4 wheels when I've left it for about 3 or 4 weeks. Spray all 4 wheels, let it dwell for about 5-10 minutes. It'll start to turn a pinky purple, and then I'll use various brushes to sort of make sure I get into every nook and cranny of the wheel. So I'll start off with the 1-inch Valet Pro detailing brush, which you can see here. So that allows me to access most of the face of the wheel, in between the spokes, in around the valve cap. Really good brush, and it's taken a bit of a beating, to be honest, so it's held up well. I also use this brush on the calipers. What I do then is I use the larger Meguiars brush, which is on the floor next to my knees there. That's for the barrels or the backs of the wheels. I use a large brush because the wheels are quite wide in my car. The only issue with the large brush is if you do have a large brake setup like the 63 or similar, you won't get it behind your calipers. So, you know, if you are thorough, which I think you should be, you'll probably have to roll the car forward. That's not always easy when you've got wet hands and wheel cleaner everywhere, so just put a bit of thought into the size of brush you used really. I'll then use an all-purpose cleaner to scrub the tyres, degrease them, which is ready for tyre shine then. Okay, so last step is to dry the car. What I use here is a rubber squeegee to blade the water off the car. I just do it in the same direction. It's very safe to use, just a bit of common sense is applied. You know, you don't apply any pressure, don't use it on paintwork, but it's perfectly safe to use on, you know, panoramic roofs, windows, windscreens, rear windows. It does speed the process up. But definitely wouldn't use it on paintwork, just in case there is any sort of speckles of dust after you've washed it that you risk sort of pushing around the paintwork. And next then, in this case I'm using Gyeon Cure, which I spritz onto a Gyeon drying towel, and then I rub down a panel at a time until it's dry. This restores the sort of depth and clarity to the paint, and it does add a bit of temporary protection till the next wash as well. It's a really good product to top up an existing ceramic coating or wax or, you know, synthetic sealant, whatever you have in the car. It's not something that needs to be used every time, but it is a nice top up every 3 or 4 washes. As a drying aid, normally I would just use a normal quick detailer with the same drying towel and wipe down each panel. Okay, 30 minutes later and the car is nice and clean. This is what I'd class as a sort of interval wash, a quicker clean. I didn't go to town on this, there was no tyre shine applied, and you know, I didn't sort of polish any metal bits like I usually would. There's just no need in the winter really. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think the Hyacinth Red really pops with the ceramic coating and the combination of the Gyeon Bathe Plus shampoo and then Gyeon Cure on top of that, just to sort of restore the clarity and depth of the paint. And obviously it's nicely protected till the next 2 or 3 weeks till I get to wash the car again. So thank you for watching. I will ask if you could like and subscribe and leave me a comment for any feedback. This is the very first video of my E63s. I've owned the car for 2 years and I do plan to make quite a bit of content with this, and especially sharing my thoughts on ownership with the car so far. So yeah, thank you very much and I'll catch you soon.